What's up guys, Sam Adams here and welcome to The Drop, which is a weekly series every single Monday here on my channel where I go through the top video game releases of the week and let you guys know what games are coming out if you want to pick up a new thing to play. And this week we've got one pretty major release that a lot of people have been waiting a long time for, so we'll be discussing that, as well as a couple of little smaller releases and some things that are Australia only timed exclusives it appears, or maybe it's just Australia exclusives. I don't know, but we'll be talking about all of that this week on The Drop, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to be starting things off with the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited coming to the PS4 and Xbox One this week, and it was kind of released earlier this year in March on the PC, but let me give you guys a little bit of background information on the situation we've got going on here. So Elder Scrolls Online originally debuted on the PC back in April of 2014 with a $15 a month subscription model because it is a giant MMO game. It's just kind of expected at this point. Unfortunately, the subscriptions kind of began dwindling, and a lot of people said that they didn't feel compensated for the amount of money that they were paying per month and the amount of content that they were getting back from that. So they went ahead and started over at ZeniMax Studios working on a no subscription model of the game. You're not going to have to pay $15 a month, and that is Tamriel Unlimited, which a lot of people were happy to hear about whenever the PS4 and Xbox One versions were pushed back twice. And now it's just kind of, you buy the game, you play online, and it's just a really fun experience. So, since the beginning of the Elder Scrolls franchise, a lot of people have been thinking that this kind of thing would lend itself very well to an MMO entry. It just seems like the natural way to go, and the guys over at ZeniMax Studios have went ahead and produced that. So you can pretty much expect to do all of your standard MMO things. You get a guild together, and you go around doing different raids and cleaning out caverns and things like that in the world of the Elder Scrolls. It's going to be pretty good. It looks pretty interesting. I personally am not a huge fan of the MMO kind of thing, but it does look that it's going to work out pretty well. Also, there is a plus model of the game, which you can pay $15 a month for, which you would normally have to pay if they had kept the subscription fee anyways. It's kind of a good deal. It makes me feel a little bit better about it. But you can pay $15 a month, and you get access to all the future DLC, a whole bunch of extra content, a couple of other perks that you would expect from an MMO thing, and you can get that on any platform you want. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, that is an option. But it does look like the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited is an awesome way for the Elder Scrolls to go ahead and jump into the world of MMOs. I think that there will probably be more entries after this, because I feel like this is just kind of putting a toe in the water to see how it feels. So we'll just have to see where it goes, but it looks like if you've been waiting a long time for an MMO version of Elder Scrolls, this is a good time to give it a shot. Next up, we've got Dr. Mario Miracle Cure coming to the 3DS, and this one looks to be pretty cool because it's just one of those iconic gaming names that just stands out whenever you hear it, and it's good to see that Dr. Mario is making its comeback on the 3DS. So pretty much you've got three different modes: Classic Style, Dr. Luigi Style, and Virus Buster mode, which I think is the one that looks a little bit like Tetris. There are pretty much a whole bunch of different ways you can play this game, and at the end of the day, it's going to cater to not only old fans of the Dr. Mario franchise, but also newcomers who are just looking for a little thing to play on their 3DS. I thought I would go ahead and mention it just in case you were looking for a game to play on the handheld on the go, but like I said, it looks pretty good, and I'm just glad to see Dr. Mario making a comeback. Next up, we've got LEGO Jurassic World coming to the PC, PS4, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, 3DS, Wii U, and PlayStation Vita. Yeah, that's pretty much a LEGO thing to do, is to come out on everything possible to give every age of gamer, because a lot of younger kids do play on 3DSs, the old ones, and a lot of younger kids have, older generation consoles, so it's pretty cool that they went ahead and put it out on everything. But LEGO Jurassic World follows the stories of all of the past Jurassic Park games and the one that's coming out very shortly starring Chris Pratt. Looks like a really good movie. We might talk about it here on the channel at some point. But, pretty much you can play through all the stories of all the games, you can play as over 20 dinosaurs, and then you can test with DNA samples to kind of make your own dinosaurs, and then you can save those and use them in the game. It looks really cool, and it's nice to see that the Jurassic Park franchise is finally getting a LEGO entry, because it's just one of those ones that deserves it. I mean, we've seen LEGO Indiana Jones, LEGO Star Wars, we've seen LEGO everything, Marvel, it's time for Jurassic Park to get its own game, and obviously it's tying in a little bit with the movie coming out. but it does look pretty good, and if you're looking for a new LEGO game to play with friends, this is a good opportunity to pick this one up for a new generation console, because it has that classic jump in, jump out kind of gameplay where you can just pick up a controller, play for a little while, and then leave, and then someone else can come by. It's just a really cool way to do things, and LEGO is notorious for doing really well with that kind of, I'm going to play for a minute, and then I'll leave, and then, you know, they just do it really well. So, if you're looking for a new LEGO game to play, or you're really excited about the new Jurassic Park movie, or just a fan of the Jurassic Park name itself, this one might be for you. Next up, we've got Payday 2 Crime Wave Edition, which I'm just kind of giving an honorable mention because it's actually coming out in most locations next week, so we'll be talking about it more next week on the drop. But for those of you that live in the land down under, if any of you happen to live over that way, it's coming out a week early in your location, so it's pretty much a revamped version of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 version of Payday 2. And it has a lot more content, tons of DLC and stuff. Pretty much if you're a fan of the Payday name and franchise, you're going to enjoy this new addition to the new generation consoles. Obviously, it's exclusive to the PS4 and Xbox One, and I think there's some version of it coming out on PC, but as the developer said, with the restrictions that the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 had, they just weren't able to push out 50 updates to the game like they could on PC. So pretty much if you own the older version of Payday 2 on the computer already, on the personal computer, you know, not the consoles, then you're pretty much up to date, and it sounds like there's not that many enhancements. However, if you're making the jump from 360 to Xbox One or PS3 to PS4 or any combination of the four, then you're probably going to notice a difference, and I'll be talking about it more next week on the drop, so stay tuned for that. Finally, another honorable mention, Fighting Edition, Tekken 6, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and Soul Calibur 5. That's 3 games on one disc. Is coming out in Australia, and it's $40 Australian, which is the equivalent of $30.45 in US currency. But EB Games is actually, which is the kind of European GameStop, is having a sale on this right now where you can actually pre-order the game for $28 Australian. So that's a pretty great deal if you happen to live in that part of the world. But of course, there aren't any Street Fighters or Mortal Kombats in this pack. There are still some notable names that are really popular with the fighting game community, and it looks like this would be a pretty good one if you're just itching for a cheap kind of fighting game. You get a lot of game for not too much money, so if you live in Australia, you might want to check that one out. So there you guys have it. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, drop me a like down below and comment what game you are looking forward to the most this week. Did I miss anything? Please leave it in the comments down below. Whatever you want to talk about down there, I'll respond to everything. And of course, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to head over and check out some of the other content. I upload new stuff like 4 or 5 days a week, so there's always something new for you to check out when you drop by the channel to watch some videos. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace, and get ready for E3.